Close your eyes and think back in your mind to the happiest moment that you have ever experienced. Now, pretend that someone has interrupted that precious memory that you're trying to savor to tell you that the person closest to your heart has died. Experiencing an emotional pitfall such as this can cause an individual to feel worthless and it can severely affect the way they live their day-to-day life. Have you experienced an impassive downfall such as this? My name is Casey Alphen, and if you answered yes to this question, you could possibly have some type of mental disorder. Today I'll be speaking to you about the symptoms, causes, and ways to minimize the episodes of bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder can vary from victim to victim, and they cannot always control how it affects their family and as well as themselves. Generally, the signs and symptoms of mental disorders scare those around us. The stereotypes and misunderstandings allow individuals to create an uncomfortable zone between themselves and those who suffer from bipolar disorder. Individuals today are unaware of exactly what bipolar disorder is, and they need to be informed so they can close that gap. Bipolar disorder is a brain disorder that causes unusual changes in moods, energy levels, and dramatically affects the way that one lives their day-to-day life. Have you ever known someone who is happy and fun to be around, and in a split second they become closed-minded to reality and the world around them? Bipolar disorder is often called manic depression. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, bipolar disorder often develops in a person's late teens or early adult years. At least half of all these cases start before the individual is 25 years old. Many times the first episode witnessed is an indication of a problem. Those who suffer from bipolar disorder can have episodes triggered by dramatic experiences that cause negativity. Issues such as this can surface in episodes such as a death in the family of a divorce from parents. One who has been ostracized by society due to religious, social, or cultural-related issues may also be more prone to have an episode than those who are more easily accepted by others. Let's now take a look at what may ultimately cause bipolar disorder. Looking into an individual's genealogy, it has told researchers much about their body and the way the brain works, the way according to their ancestor cells. Mental disorders are many times passed down from parents to their children. Researchers Farrell T. Nerninger stated that children with a parent or sibling who suffers from bipolar disorder is 4 to 6 times more likely to develop disease than those children who do not have a sibling or parent that suffers from the disease. Also, the National Institute of Mental Health funded the Bipolar Disorder Phenome Database, which after research shows that most people with bipolar disorder had other illnesses that helped occur in the bipolar disorder, such as panic attacks, anxiety attacks, etc. Living with bipolar disorder is difficult because there is no cure. However, there are ways to minimize and manage the episodes and their frequency. DJ McLeod says, an effective maintenance treatment plan includes the medication and psychotherapy for preventing relapse and reducing symptom severity. I know this information to be true because I myself have experienced living with someone with bipolar disorder, my grandmother. Medications such as mood stabilizers, antipsychotic medications, and antidepressants assist in stabilizing how often an episode can occur. In recent years, I have come to better understand why my grandmother's actions were so dramatic. Looking back at the details, I can now see why it is so important for someone with this disorder to properly take their medication. There was a noticeable difference when she took her medication and when she did not take her medication. Here is a chart at some of the examples of medications that someone could possibly take who is bipolar. Lithium, for example, helps with the manic depression, the manic side being where they are more hyper or more outgoing all the time. And unfortunately, a con of that is it can cause severe kidney damage. Abilify is your antipsychotic medication, and it also helps with to stabilize the manic, so you're not too high or you're not too low. But a con of that is, if taken with an antidepressant, it could increase suicidal thoughts. Wellbutrin is an antidepressant medication and helps also stabilize the manic depression. However, a con is it could have insomnia, anxiety, or tinnitus, which is ringing of the ears. Medications alone are not as effective as talking to friends and family or occasionally receiving counseling. In conclusion, bipolar disorder can take an enormous toll on one's life and should be treated when first detected. I have informed you about the symptoms, causes, and ways to minimize and manage bipolar disorder. These details are very important and should be taken into consideration by those who feel or may know someone who has bipolar disorder. If you or someone you know suffers from bipolar disorder, confront the issue because there is help for you. Life is too short to be anything but happy, so therefore, do everything in your power to make yours count.